This is a breakdown of my most recent video in which I recreated Mihawk from One Piece. The only shot I wasn't quite sure I could do was the one with the ship breaking, so I decided to do this one first. I began by looking for a good 3D model of a ship. After some searching, I found one from Kitbash 3D. I pre-fractured the entire ship in Houdini and imported the animation I created in Blender. Then I applied the animation onto both ship halves and simulated the middle part. Then I added more simulations, in this case the sails, reacting to the impact, the smoke from the explosion, and the water being pushed around. Then I was ready to render, so I waited a day until it was finished. I realized that I forgot to turn on the displacement on the ocean, which explained the fast render time of just one day. So I rendered again, this time waiting 2 days. Once the render was finished, I comped everything. I added the sky, haze, explosions, and glow. Then when I saw the result, I knew I could do the entire video. So I went looking for a black coat and a black hat. I didn't add the feather since I knew I would rotoscope myself and the feather wouldn't help. The cross was just a block of wood which I cut up and drilled a hole for a shoelace, which served as chain. I decided to shoot outside on the real beach instead of shooting in front of a green screen, since I knew I would have to rotoscope myself either way, and this way I would at least have the right lighting on myself. After filming, I began by tracking all 5 shots in After Effects. Then I opened After Effects Beta and used the new Roto Brush 3.0 to rotoscope everything. In Blender, I tracked the staff by eye and then added Mihawk's sword. In Houdini, I prepared 3 different explosions. I just placed the VDBs in Blender. The first and last shot needed some extra treatment since I noticed you could see the shoreline and I wanted waves to crash onto it. So I spent 2 days trying to figure out how to create waves. After a lot of tweaking the simulations, I finally got to this result. I ran the simulation for long enough so that I could reuse it in both shots. For the paper cutting at the beginning, I animated a plane already cut up in Blender and then just added simulated edges in Houdini once the slice happened. And now the last shot. I wanted my friend to be cut in half, and since he wasn't down to do it on the spot, I had to do it in CG. And good CG always starts with a lot of reference. And oh boy, I wasn't ready for that. After looking at some really horrible videos, I finally decided to use this clip from The Boys as reference. I spent some time creating a 3D model of him with the shirt separate so that it could be simulated. Then I used Houdini to simulate both halves falling apart. I added some chunks of meat falling from the inside and used both the halves and the chunks as colliders for the shirt. For the blood, I spent an entire day trying to get the texture and the feeling right. After a lot of different simulations, I ended up with those 3 layers and added them all. Then I rendered all 5 shots, which was about 1 day per shot, so I went outside to touch grass. Then 5 days later I comped everything in After Effects, added sound design, and here's the final result.